John, okay, I'm back here. Ben the Baptist and Matt Powell. We had one round. We had one discussion. Matt Powell. Um, Now I'm wanting another one. I wasn't really in the spirit at that point. Now I want another one. I want you and Ben the Baptist. So let's break this down and let's really be honest. I want you to prove enough of your Old Testament foolishness. I responded to that in the last discussion. The Old Testament justification for walking in sin. Forget that. Forget the Old Testament. I've already responded to it more than once. So that's fine. I'm not running. I'm not running from it. But I want to exclude just the New Testament. And I want you to prove from the New Testament that a born-again, Holy Ghost-filled Christian can live a lifestyle of sin. I didn't say can sin a few times, can have a problem with pornography. I'm saying walk a lifestyle of sin. You gotta prove that. Just exclusively from the New Testament. I want you to prove once and for all your reprobate doctrine that homosexuals are going to, as homosexuals cannot be saved. I'm making this offer. I want you to prove your reprobate doctrine and your salvific doctrine. And I want you to prove from the New Testament. Because you can twist the Old Testament all you want. I want you to prove from the New Testament that you have the justification to wish death upon people and pray that God destroys them. So this is my challenge, you guys. Matt Powell, Ben the Baptist, I have this. You will come on and you will definitively, decisively prove, really absolutely prove your reprobate doctrine. You will prove from the New Testament your sin doctrine. You can live a life. I didn't say sin. I said walk a lifestyle and willfully rebelling against God. You're going to prove that from the New Testament. And I will use the Greek. I will use history. And we will zero in on the two verses that you guys love to twist. 1 John 3:8 and 1 John 3:9. I will use other scriptures to connect and put it in context while you guys eisegesis that text. I will, even though there is deepness of scripture and all that, I understand that, but you guys make a mockery of that text. And I will go to the Greek and history. I will go to context with that text, and we will do this once and for all. So you're going to prove your salvation doctrine. You're going to prove from the New Testament, and I will address your Old Testament scriptures from the book of Psalms. That you can wish death upon people, you can hate people, and you are going to prove your reprobate doctrine. You're going to prove the word reprobate mind means someone who's condemned, and not just merely connect scriptures with that one concept, being ever learning, never coming to the knowledge of the truth, being sealed. You're going to have to prove that these concepts mean they're damned. I do think these concepts are connected to utter damnation, but you're going to have to prove the word reprobate mind means that. So this is my challenge to you guys. You will come on and we will discuss this. You guys both can come on. Don't interrupt me. Be civil, and let's really talk about this. Surely I'm not just copying another brother that made the same offer. Because Matt Powell, Ben the Baptist, if he replies to me, you guys are also going to be requested to come talk to him. I've talked to you guys before, and I've contended with Matt Powell, tried to contend with Matt Powell about the reprobate doctrine. He did not prove his case. I care about contending with these people myself. It's not, but you also, if he replies to me, you'll be requested to come on his channel. Somebody that has recently made a video, let's say, against opposing Stephen Anderson. But I want to personally deal with you guys myself as well. But let's deal with this. You're going to come on here and prove your doctrine. You're not going to twist some scripture. I'm not going to allow that. I'm not going to allow you to discredit the Greek. In fact, here's this. If you are to hold the KJV is utterly perfect, no flaws in the translation, I present to you, and don't strawman it, present your evidence that there is not one small little error within the KJV translation. Don't just present a categorical fallacy. Don't present a fallacy. Don't strawman it. Present you definitive evidence that there's not at least one error in the KJV. And guess what? I will present my evidence that there's Greek words that don't even belong in the KJV. Well, I would say I don't have it with me, but I will mention them. And you're going to prove that who was it? Tacitus or whoever it was that wrote the Textus Receptus. You're going to prove he wasn't a Catholic priest. You're so against the Catholic Church. You're going to prove multiple things. If you want to prevent me to go into the Greek, and guess what? I guess if the KJV is a perfect English translation, then whatever the Greek says is what the KJV was meant to say. So if the Greek says something, but your interpretation says the other thing, you are misinterpreting the KJV. We'll go that route. We're going to go the route that if the Greek contradicts your interpretation of the KJV, it's not the KJV that's wrong, it's you are wrong. And you need to align yourself with the Greek. So, Ben the Baptist, Matt Powell, we'll go live right now if you want to. And I want you to prove your doctrine. That we will go hours. You're gonna definitively prove your doctrine. You're not gonna play semantics and straw man. You're gonna definitively prove your doctrine that the word reprobate mind definitively and always means, and even means one time, that you're damned to hell and you can't be saved. I can use it like that, but it doesn't mean that. And in the context about people and fornication and pride, being proud when it says they're filled with all unrighteousness, of fornicating, they're proud. So don't be a hypocrite and a straw manner when you use that scripture in Romans 1. If I would be serious about that, Stephen Anderson is a reprobate and condemned to hell and he cannot be saved. If you're gonna use that same standard with that interpretation. So we can go live now. We can go live later. This offer is made. Come to the table. You wanna spew your false doctrine and the big point about your salvation doctrine. Prove it. We're gonna zero in on certain scriptures, and you're going to prove linguistically. I don't really know that kind of. I don't really know that kind of. I don't know that kind of Greek. I know Greek, but I don't know like all the Greek surrounding 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 9. But so I can't really contend that. But you're going like I know tenses, I know certain Greek words, and I know like some little like I know some details, but here, you guys, and calling me reprobate is just a cop out. Just a cop out. You guys, your God is the independent, fundamental, proud Baptist church. And where you derive from is not even the Anabaptist. It's just a basic Kabbalic pride. You think you got it all right. You think that you're the only true branch of Christianity when I challenge you to prove your history, prove your origin. Like, draw all your doctrine and prove you have no history with the Gnostics, which you do. Your doctrine does. So, you guys are just a bunch of proud fools. You guys do not know God. You guys do not love God. You guys don't. You guys love yourself. You're lover of yourself. Not love God. You guys don't. If any follower of Matt Powell wants to come on and contend with me right now, we would do this. And me challenging you guys wasn't just the inspiration brought upon his video, but I have challenged you guys before. I was trying to do a video challenging talking doctrine again. I'm talking with Renee Rowan. This is already something I've been at. Talking with you guys. I don't have initial videos attacking Matt. Matt is a hate-filled. Just look at his eyes. Like, he's just a hate-filled hate monger. He's not saved. Just religious. Just religious. It's just the old-fashioned, go to church on Sunday, drink on Friday religion. All you gotta do is faith in Jesus and be bound to your sin and be a wicked abomination, and hey, you're saved. Could you say this prayer? Or could you proclaim in your mouth that you trust in Jesus? Well, I deny that you trust in Jesus. You don't trust him. You trust in your own narcissistic. You're a narcissist. The gospel of Renee Rowan is the gospel of narcissism. You take a Jesus that is fit for your pride and your comfort, and you worship that. You worship a graven image in your heart. You don't trust in Christ. You trust in yourself. Your own vain imagination. I can prove by what you teach and how you sound that you do fit actually the definition of a narcissist. By definition, you do fit it. You guys are narcissists. You used to believe you know what I believe, and you just said you used to believe what I believe. What do I believe? I'm not a typical Lordship salvationist. What do I believe? I'm sorry if I was too blunt. Here. All the followers can come on and contend me right now. I'm sorry, Sarah, I was too blunt with you, but you don't even know what I believe, and you say you used to be what I believe. Unlike you guys, I actually have the Holy Ghost. It's not just a religious belief system. Guys, I came from you guys. At least part of you guys. I was raised in the religious, hypocritical church system. You know, you go to church on Sunday and you get drunk on Friday. That's what you guys do. And you guys say, I trust this Jesus, praise the Lord, and you honor him with your mouth. You actually say it with your mouth. You honor him with your mouth, and you worship him with your lips, but your heart is far from him. You do not know God. The evidence, I forget I just deal in on the fruits of your heart. You are as rotten as you are as rotten as decaying bodies in the grave. full of hate. Matt Powell is an abomination. Just by that one thing he believes. When you want to go tell a homosexual he cannot be saved because of your own pride, the result of your own morality, because you don't do certain things, make you feel better at yourself, be a narcissist, then yeah, you're going to be called an abomination. And I will have mercy on the people like G.N. Emory, where he would say a homosexual can be saved. But he said, as in the present state they are reprobate. I agree that a fornicator in the present state is going to hell. But Matt Powell is an abomination who, on Scholar Fiction, he said that, people should be stoned today, homosexuals should be put to death. He made a mockery and a shame and a discrediting of Christianity. That's an abomination. And we got Ben the Baptist that came on there and just was wicked and admitted his wickedness and lying to Scholar Fiction more than one time amongst thousands of followers. And he did that. That's an abomination. He does not know God. He's a wicked abomination. I didn't say you're drinking. I said I came from that culture of the drinking. I didn't say you're drinking. I didn't say you're drinking. And I'm being honest. I'm being blunt with these guys. I didn't say you're drinking. I said the culture of the religious church system is a bunch of hypocrites. Basically. And you just told me being blunt. So I mean when Steven Anderson and his followers would come on here.
Hey, you got everybody who's got to get up really early in the morning.
So I mean when Steven Anderson and his followers would come on here and wish death upon me and tell me I could throw a ball in my head. Oh, so I mean when I'm blunt and I call them abominations. Fornicators and porn watchers are horrible people too. I don't say they should be put to death. Listen, if you want to be serious, all of us should be put to death. Once you sin one time, you put to death. Was I ever? I'm not gonna respond to that. I guess I will. No, I'm not gonna respond to it. If you fornicate, you deserve to be put to death. If you lust after a man, you deserve to be put to death. So you call me a faggot. You call me, and this is how stupid. I mean, I could rebuke that. I could tell you what the word actually means, but I ain't gonna be prideful. I'm not a faggot. I'm not homosexual. I just practiced wicked acts in my past. I wasn't initially a homosexual ever. I'm not attacking Matt. I'm offering to contend with Matt on the false gospel he preaches. And the Bible does not prove your doctrine of once saved, always saved. I believe it proves the point of it, but not with how you teach it. It's not once you're a sinner, always you're a sinner, and as long as you trust in Christ, you're somehow alright. We're just sinners. Matt is not saved. Sarah, let me ask you a question. How old are you? Sarah Reeves, how old are you? A follower of Steve Anderson wished. So I'm mean-spirited when you think homosexuals should be put to death? I'm telling the truth. Matt Powell is not saved. And if you're still walking into sin, you're not saved. I love you. I'm only telling the truth bluntly, but this is the truth. So I guess when Jesus called people fools, I guess that was mean. Why? Anybody wants to talk, we can talk. Sarah, how old are you? I'm being blunt. I know I'm more gentle. I should have been more gentle. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Sarah. I was too blunt, especially with you. Any follower of Matt Powell? Let's have a conversation. Ben the Baptist? Let's have a conversation. Levi Kahn? If you want to come on here and talk with me about this thing, we can talk about it. Religion. Are you an atheist? The word religion, the word origin of that word means bond. It doesn't mean to believe in God. And if you don't have a substantial deity that brings in philosophical principles, then you don't have the worldview to substantiate truth and morality. So if you're an atheist, you really can't know anything. Is there any absolutes? I need to break down what I said is that as an atheist, I'm breaking it down if you don't understand those words. As an atheist, you cannot support in your worldview the absolute truth or absolute morality, which is chemicals, and chemicals do not produce truth. That's philosophy. That's philosophical fact.
Phoebe in here? Is Phoebe in here? Okay.
Yeah.
I love you.
So here, I'm any Matt Powell follower can come and contend with me on what is the gospel. On all homosexuals damned to hell. I believe sinners are damned to hell, but I know they can be saved. But you guys pick out certain sins: pedophiles, molesters, rapists, murderers, homosexuals. And you say if you are homosexual, you are long gone. You rejected by God. I have something to warn you. And properly using that terminology, if you're a porn watcher, you're rejected by God. If you like to lust after women, relentlessly, like you just love it, you're rejected by God. If you love looking at that woman behind, and you just love it, just go out and you go to the store, and you really love it, you are rejected by God. God despises you, figuratively. Golan, if you want to talk, why don't you come and talk? I want to verify who you are before I let you in. Can you comment in the chat section? Verify who you are. Before I let you in the broadcast, I want to know if you're a troll or not. So I want you to verify who you are. Comment in the chat section who you are. Information. Because I'm not going to be fooled. Your thing. Well, let me see. Let me see if I can. Oh. You're in. This was for easy believers, not really for atheists, but you just have time. You're in this one. Oh. So, okay, before I let you in, you're not a troll, because I know you're not a troll. I don't want to take on this podcast and have to do all over again. So if you want to troll me and troll pornography, get out of here. Or you want to troll me. Okay, here you go.
Hi. Am I audible now? Great.
Yeah, you're audible.
I was, I was saying hello, I think 3 times already. So it's my third. Hello, everybody. Hello, Bray. Yeah. So I'm not sure. You know what? I'm not really sure if I can, bring anything, substantial into the discussion. But since kind of like, I just came in, I subscribed to your channel, and then I kind of like checked who is streaming right now. So I saw, Bray is streaming. Let's see if, Coffee is, chat. And so I came in and I saw this girl posting, I don't know if I understood it right, but she said something like, gay people should be killed, everybody should be killed and stuff like this. And since I'm gay, I was thinking to myself, oh my God, what is she saying? What have I done to her? I don't understand this. So, so this is, how I came here in. So, yeah. I would like to say, I think I am an atheist or agnostic or something like this. I do believe in some form, I do believe in something, but it's surely not, the organized religion as we know it. So I don't think that, the creator, the God, God, the thing that created the universe, right? So I don't think that this thing, was.
You're
Even.
basically a deist, but I've already refuted that before. If you're a deist, you can't really know anything because you haven't
Yeah.
been just
Right.
enough to support absolute truth.
Right.
But
But you know what? You may be right on this one thing, but at the same time, I do believe that none of us, is able to know anything of, about the creation itself, the creator and stuff like this. So
okay,
how can we
okay,
know? Nobody has talked to this thing that made us. Nobody had any informations. It's all just, throughout time, humans kind of like, uh, put things together, what they think that is wanted or what is, in the will of the creator. So I think, all of those things that we are talking about, this is all coming from the human mind, right? It's not the creator itself. It's coming from our ancestors, people who were kind of like in the business of, transferring old, uh, you know uh, all those, stories that people throughout generations try to, you know bring further to new generation. So and then, some of them put them down in scriptures, and some things were taken out, some things were put in. So all of those things, I believe, what we have now on the table, if you would like, I know that you are a Christian, so you would like to talk about Christianity only. So
But no,
so all of those things were put
listen,
together by people, and none of those things came from the Creator itself, right? So this is what I believe.
I contend with, this is my main point in the channel, is I contend with you guys. Like, sure, I do some videos that contend with people within the so-called realm of Christianity, but I contend with multiple people. So I want you to understand something. Maybe you understand something. Is that all sin is condemned. All sin. You're not just some people that I point out and I say you're going to hell if you don't repent.
I don't understand. What do you mean by sin? I don't understand this.
Okay. Let me provide you secular evidence that homosexuality is wrong. It's sin. It's missing the mark of perfection.
Can you explain me why we have, let's say, some insect species, why do they do homosexual acts? Are insects evil?
I would say because they have a more of an animal-like nature, more of an emotional-like nature. But a man is supposed to have a sophisticated, logical, well-thought like nature.
Yeah. Okay, but you know what? My agenda, or my belief to the creation and the Creator is more like this. I am not harming anybody. I am bringing joy. Two adults make joy. They don't harm anybody. They are happy. Right? So when two people, two adults who are able to think for themselves, are happy with what they are doing, I think this is a wonderful thing. Nobody gets harmed. Those two people, you need to know one thing, when we humans do something good to oneself. So, for example, when I am being good to myself, then at the same time, I kind of like, get into the mode of being satisfied. And in this mode of being, balanced with myself, satisfied with myself, happy with myself. In this mode, I am able to bring joy and to give it further to the environment where I'm living in. So, for example, when I am being good to myself, at the same time, I am able to be good to my neighbors, to my environment, to the whole thing that is surrounding me, right? So when I am okay, I am balanced, when I'm in the middle of myself, when I am, on good vibrations, to say, then I'm able to be good to my people who are surrounding me, right? So, so when two people who are able to think for themselves are making each other happy while not harming anybody, and while, because they are happy, bring joy outside into their environment, I don't know where is the sin, So you need to understand one thing, you need to understand one thing. We are talking here about the Creator, right? God, right? So God created the whole universe, right? And I hope that you are aware of how small our system is. not no, I'm not talking about our planet Earth. I'm talking about our the whole system, sun, all those little planets in our system. So this system is so small, and then additionally comes the smaller part, namely planet Earth, and then the even smaller part, the asshole of a man. So what I'm trying to say is, why should the creator who created the whole universe be interested in somebody's asshole? Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Okay, I'll let me answer you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna give you some facts here. We understand sociologically that if anybody is homosexual is transgender, our population would be come to nothing or will be lessen in numbers, and it's basically a sociological death. We understand that genetically, with the philosophy of the genetics, that we can understand this is that you are given a Y X chromosome at birth, and with your anatomy and your femininity or your masculinity, or what is normally connected with your Y X chromosome being a male or female, you have some certain characteristics and certain basically proper way to conduct yourself.
Yeah.
Anal sex is not proper.
Yeah, just to put it right, I'm not promoting here homosexuality, right? So I'm very aware that we need procreation and that man and woman are made for each other, right? I'm very aware of this. But we as a whole, we need to be aware also of one thing, namely, homosexuality has it has its sense. So there is a reason why homosexuality exists in the first place, right? So when you kind of look at this phenomenon, why do homosexuality exist? Why do many species on this planet practice homosexuality? How come? What is this? What is behind this phenomenon, right? So when you kind of look at the homosexuals within their families, right, then you will notice very, very clearly what's their job. you know their job is not to marry, to procreate, to keep on doing life in itself how one should do it. That's not their job. Job is to keep the balance right. The balance, for example, unconsciously, the mother, when she's pregnant with the child, she's unconsciously deciding if the child is going to be a homosexual or not. So the mother decides, right? So why does the mother decide if she wants to have a homosexual child or not? Well, that's easy to answer. So, for example, when she is pregnant and, um, um, I'm trying to bring it really to the point so that everybody understands, even those who absolutely can't follow. So let me try it. So, when, for example, when a mother has one male child, then a second male child, and then she kind of there is we are humans. If you really use your senses and mind, then you can kind of follow what I'm trying to say. So for example, when she has the impression that in a couple of years time there won't be such nice times within the family, there will be kind of the father would probably lose his job, the two kids, two males, is always a different situation as if you have two girls. So the mother sees, aha, I don't know about the future, if this is all going to become very well. Now I have already two male children, now comes the third one, and then she decides unconsciously, she's not aware of it, right? She's not absolutely not aware of it, but she decides to put some chemicals into the little embryo, and then the embryo turns how uh, the circumstances in her very own life needs it to be, namely, she makes the male child into a homosexual. Why? Very easy to answer. When you look at homosexuals, what they are doing, within our societies, then you will notice homosexuals are basically here to bring people together. None of you who ever have met a homosexual in your life would disagree with me that homosexuals bring people together. So when the mother is having two male children, we know how males are. They like to fight each other. They like to compete with each other. They like to show each other who is stronger, who is better, who is faster, who is richer, has the bigger car, who has this, who has that. That's normal. But the homosexual child, he is able to to connect this kind of people and the other side of people. So basically, a homosexual connects people, brings the whole situation into a balance so that there is no war, everything calms down to a normal point. So it's a really, really very, very important contribution that the homosexual is doing, right? So throughout the whole planet, all homosexuals, who everybody is spitting on them, blaming them, harassing them, beating them, killing them, bringing them into jail. Those people are basically here to make the whole environment far more nicer for everybody.
Well,
Right? So
I would,
I agree with you. We don't need 100% of humans to be homosexual, because otherwise we will die out. I mean, every sane person who is able to count 1+1 = 2 is able to get this information. And by the way, for the because I'm hearing this very often. By the way, for the rest of somebody's listening who is saying, well, homosexuals can't procreate. Well, I'm very sorry, I have a dick, and I'm sure that my dick is able to procreate, right? So homosexuals are very well able to procreate. And by the way, I know in my very own life that we have many, 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 many husbands married with children who are homosexuals. So you see, life is not black and white. We have many, many different kinds of, things, right? We are no robots. We don't have one male who is driving one car and one woman who is sneaking this pullover. That's not life. We are individuals, and each individual has its own job to do. And regarding your procreation, I don't know if you have noticed. I mean, it's really nice if your children are having children and, starting up a family and everything is nice and more children, more children, more children. That's nice for you, for your very own. But, if you check the statistics, then you will notice that we are kind of like, overpopulating, right? So,
well, I could wait. I haven't had.
so when you are about to complain about the many homosexuals who are about, stop procreating. By the way, I have said already, homosexuals have a dick and they are very able to procreate. And
Listen,
and then the fact that we are overpopulated on this planet. Well, I think this kind of point of not being able to keep on procreating, that's kind of like ridiculous. I mean, all you need to do is to go a little bit into the Google, and then you type in procreation numbers, overpopulation, planet Earth, how many people can live on, and then you can find it out without the Bible, right? It's really very easy.
Listen, so I haven't had really time to further really reply to things you have said, so I asked, please give me time to reply. When I demonstrated that sociologically, philosophically, genetically, that there is something wrong, so it's not perfect, it's not complete, it's not excellent, the lifestyle homosexuality. Sin simply means to miss the mark, to miss the order, to miss perfection, to miss excellence. That's what sin is. So, in homosexuality, I can demonstrate does do that. So, it is a sin. Anal sex and oral sex, which homosexuals practice, cause many cause STDs, and you get your behind destroyed. You can get your colon or muscles in your behind destroyed. You can get messed up.
By the way, I would like to add something. I'm a homosexual who has no sex, right? So I have no sex. Me personally, I'm talking about myself personally. I have no sex, right? But you know what? I'm a homosexual.
Well, that's not the point. The point is that homosexuality does damage organs through the acts of practice. And the point is that philosophically and according to the anatomy, genetically, sociologically, can be called, going by the secular terminology, homosexuality is a mental illness. Psychiatry deemed it a mental illness years ago, but not because of pure logic and study and research.
You have just, you know what? You have just insulted me, Bray. You have just insulted me. But you know what? I am really not surprised because this is what religious, basically always do. You know,
Listen,
religious religious people. I will tell you one thing. Since
how many,
there is a creator, probably.
okay,
I believe, in my personal belief, I believe everybody who is, religious will burn in eternal fire. And, everybody who is claiming to be an atheist, they will come into heaven, all of them, because, religious, they claim to believe in God, and then in the Bible, in all of those books, made be Torah, Bible, Quran, whatever it is, it says, God judges and he will judge, so when we die and then we go to the heaven's gate or whatever it is, and then he's going to judge our lives, our actions, right? And so I think we should keep this job to him, right? He is
no,
able, he doesn't need
let
brain,
me, let me,
right?
let me,
The
let me,
creator, the creator doesn't need brain to tell him what is sin and what is a mental illness.
no, okay,
Because I think the creator is very able himself to, I think, he's the one who should judge, right? And the only thing you as a religious person, when you are claiming to be a religious person, the only thing what you can do is to correct your own life. You can't change nobody. No matter how many live streams you are doing, you will not change one single bit, but you can change yourself, right? So what we can do as human beings on this planet, we can work on ourselves to become a better human being, but not judging other people, because each one of us, not only you, myself, each one of us, we are so tiny, so little, right? So what seems wrong to us from our perspective may be right from the other perspective, right? So the only person who is able to judge out of all those little tiny perspectives is God himself. And I think we should, best thing, if we really don't want to sin, right? Because, you know we are against sin, basically. So if we really don't want to sin, I would suggest, we stop judging each other,
Okay,
because
okay.
I,
I
I
was
can I can say the same thing about, you know about some believers who come across as if they haven't read anything at all and understood anything at all, and I can also call them mentally ill, right?
listen. Okay,
and and you know what, if we will, for example, just to make it plain clear to you, if we would have a voting, let's say we let the world vote, then you will notice you will have 50% approval, and I will have 50% approval of who of you or myself is the mental ill one, right? So let's not judge each other, because I think the creator itself is very much able, because he created the universe. He's very much able to judge, and he does not need myself, and he does not need you, and he does not need nobody to judge for himself what was right and what was wrong, right? That's it. You know
um,
what, Ray?
let me,
I'm
let me,
really, really very sorry that I bring your show out of your out of your usual way of things. I'm sorry about, but I have the feeling like I have to say my part, and it's really very important. I understand we are all people, we are sinful little creatures. So I understand you would like to make your live streams, you would like to have a little bit of attention, you would like to talk a little bit about the Bible, what is good, what is wrong. I understand all of this, but you need to be also aware of whatever you are doing, you are harming other people, right? So I suggest to those people who claim to believe in Jesus, to follow Jesus, to this lady earlier in the text chat, I have to say to you one thing. I don't think that Jesus would have ever said kill gays. I don't think so. That's not my Jesus, right? So
I
you can
listen.
keep repeating your stuff as much as you like, but it won't make it any more truth as it isn't anyway.
Okay. Listen. Let me make a response.
Yeah.
I am contending against those people that says we should put you guys to death. I disagree with them. The Bible disagree with them. But let me also apply. You were saying religious people are gonna burn in hell, but what I have used in this conversation is secular information. I have really not barely touched on the Bible in this conversation. I've used secular information. This is not religious information. This is secular information. I've touched on genetics, philosophy, sociology. I've touched on those kind of things. So you're not gonna diss religion with that. You're gonna diss the information that I brought forth from outside of that scope. And one, I'm not a religious. I'm not just somebody who was raised in church and just following Jesus Christ. I'm somebody who had experience with Jesus Christ and who got delivered and got healed. I'm somebody who had a very traumatic childhood, and all this trauma is basically gone. A lot of it's gone. Like where it can give me trauma and pain within. I'm somebody who couldn't barely walk 4 years ago, had scoliosis, had bad cerebral palsy, and then once after becoming born again, was walking, running, singing about pain, having a normal. I could be able to have like work at school and I had to sit down every few minutes. I had experience with the Most High God. He changed me. He's been continuing to work on me and change me. I'm not just some religious zealot. But what I've used with you is secular information. And the whole idea, we shouldn't judge. But
Yeah.
I would say that would be illogical because a judgment is an assessment, is a measurement, it's a decision. So saying I shouldn't judge is a judgment. That's hypocrisy. A doctor, when he gives you a diagnosis, he makes a judgment. So I guess we shouldn't have many doctors then. I would say God has revealed morality and truth through
Yeah,
out,
but I've said
outside.
already, God is not, he's not judging the work of a doctor or anything.
Okay, then listen. What you have presented, your belief system, has been based on emotion and not fact. See, your belief that people just put, a lot of people believe that. People just say that you put spiritual things and they just describe them. That's not based on fact, it's based on pure emotion. You can't demonstrate that. Not solidly. If that were just the case, we should find unverifiable, just sloppy writings all over the place. We don't find that. We can verify the writings of the New Testament outside of the New Testament. So that's not even. We can verify the writings of the Old Testament outside of the Old Testament. That's so. But the whole idea, God has revealed, and we can see through secular information, things are wrong. When I called you, when I call homosexuality a mental illness, I'm just telling the truth using secular information, psychiatry, which I disagree with. I'm saying the psychiatry deemed homosexuality and transgender people as mentally ill years ago, and they compromised not out of pure logic and study, but out of the wave of emotion. They, well, at least on the surface level, they have now said, looks like they're not a mental illness, when philosophically, genetically, this is all secular information, not religious information, all secular information. I can demonstrate to you that homosexuality is mentally ill. What is a mental illness? Something that's incorrect within the mind, or even within the action, or produces your action. I don't believe in psychiatry. I'm just using secular information to present to you. It's not the Bible you're dealing with. It's basic fact. You're going to have to disprove everything I've said, and not just give your opinion. Your whole belief system, is all based on emotion, and you actually, let me make this clear: every sinner is going to hell. The porn watcher, the luster, the one that habitually lusts after women, unrepentantly lusts after women, is going to hell. It's not just you. I'm not picking on you. I'm telling you, lust makes women and makes men who practice it like dogs and dishonor themselves. Lust is wrong. Fornication is wrong. It's
So
dishonoring
you are
to the body.
saying what you are basically saying is, you know um
The judgment, the judgment.
there are things that kind of like, people like, right? There are things that people like. There are some things, I'm not talking about all people, but some people like something. Some people like, something gives them, some form of fulfillment or whatever. So what you are saying is that, things that make fun, that that make people, um, satisfied, you know, balanced, all those things. So
Well,
those things are.
rape, rape makes the rapist satisfied. There's actually a study that actually proves. Do you want to go down that rabbit hole?
No,
There's that.
you know what, when we're talking about, cases like, raping, I mean, raping, when you think about raping, rape, doesn't really make everybody happy, right? So
Okay.
rape is
When,
a one-sided happiness, right?
no,
Rape
no,
is not
no,
a two-sided
no, no,
happiness, otherwise it wouldn't be
no,
called rape. So
no.
I'm not talking about crime. I'm not talking about crime
Okay, I
or,
want to explain.
thick things, thick things. I'm not talking about
I want
sickness or stuff.
I want to
I'm
be fine.
talking about basic, stuff that is good for the people. So, for example, when somebody likes to have, sex, if so, then I think she should follow her needs, right? Because it makes her happy. And I'm not talking about mental illnesses where people think that those kind of things might be good for them. I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about strong people who are with their both feet on the ground, and they know exactly what they want. And those strong people, if they decide for themselves, you know what, I like this, I think this is anything to do with sin. Anything.
Well, I can
Because
understand.
because it's good. I don't know
Right.
if you have noticed. I don't know if you have noticed, but when you make love to somebody, right? Then you are making the person happy. I don't know if you're aware of this. So when you are making love to somebody, you make this somebody happy. So and you are also happy because we are people. If you are happy, I'm happy. So when we are all satisfied and happy, where is the sin? There is no sin. This is the thing. What I find kind of like really disturbing with religions is that I have the impression like anything on this planet that brings kind of like fun and is makes people happy is sin. Everything.
Not
Simply,
true.
and everything that is kind of like boring, people don't want to do it, that's okay. So suffering is good, fun is sin. That's the main,
Well,
it's a control mechanism. It's a control mechanism to keep the people in control, right? Because as I've said, I'm excluding here the mentally, people who have problems with some issues. I'm talking about healthy, normal people, right? So when we are talking about healthy, normal people, then I think whatever they decide to do that makes them happy and makes other people happy is not a sin. Definitely not.
okay, let me reply, because
Yeah.
you have one, but we'll talk on the weight thing. If you want to go on study and people can find, is that it can be found that women actually like the domination, actually like the feeling, actually like being raped. In a sense, is actually something that can be seen in studies. So,
I don't think so that all of them likes
I'm not
domination. Some of them
all of them
yes.
like it, but some like it. It can be studied, and that's the case. Um,
Well, I know in my personal life, I know a couple of dominas. They like to dominate. So not all of them.
okay, but I'm gonna reply. What was I gonna say? Um, let me think. No, fornication dishonors the person. Dishonors sex, makes it unsacred, makes it like loose. And two, I've been using secular information. I've barely been using the Bible. And what was I gonna say? Um, this has been just pure emotion. What makes the person happy. If your happiness is with something that rebels against the natural order, then your happiness is just vain, just out of hatred towards God and towards the order. Fornication dishonors sex and dishonors the person who doesn't. People that lust after women habitually make the women look like just dogs and pieces of meat. So no, if you find this kind of things funny and fun, then that's really disgusting. It's really disgusting that if you think these kind of things are fun, fornication is not fun. It may feel good, but it feels good. Many things feel good. You know, some people like to torture animals. I would ask you a standard of morality. How do you know these things are actually wrong? How do you know not just your perception? It makes them happy. Who cares if it makes both parties happy? It's to each your own. You do you. This is all just narcissism and just emotion. When some people can be happy with things that are not exactly good, it doesn't make the happiness doesn't decree these things to be good. And one, God has already decided His judgment. His judgment has been foreknown before the foundation of the world is done. People are already damned already. Look, God foreknew everything before it even happened. So the judgment has already been, in a sense, placed. So I'm just letting you know the judgment upon sin. It's already been foreknown. So no, I'm not like that. God has revealed certain truths, and I'm relaying it back to you. You have given nothing but all this happiness and emotion to make you feel good. It's the fallen nature that makes you think this stuff is very fun. But wisdom tells you this stuff is disgusting. When you get your eyes open, you realize that this stuff dishonors women and dishonors the neutral party. It makes sex seem unsacred and more like a ruse event. And so this is just pure emotion and all about feelings. Feelings don't make reality. Feelings are what you look to line up with what's already there, what's already present, what's already true. So, if you think not fornicating is suffering, then you're wicked. If you think not doing these things is suffering, then you're wicked. You know what? I have inner peace. I have joy. I don't need. When I was into pornography and sin, I didn't have satisfaction. I was depressed. I was suicidal. I had a lot of childhood pain. I was lonely. And nothing I did satisfied me. Only for the moment. But when the Holy Ghost came inside of me, I got satisfied, I got joy, I got peace. I can lay in bed and do nothing without peace. You guys don't know what peace is. Peace is not in the midst of soundness of mind and situation. Peace is in the midst of trouble and torment. The idea that you can have peace in the midst of all hell breaking loose, that's what peace is. That's what happiness is. You guys don't know what it is. It's all based on emotion and comfort. The fact that you guys think that this is all good shows your lack of wisdom and shows basically your just emotional thinking. Even secular people can see that fornication and lusting after women and men is incorrect. I heard somebody call a person that was lust after a woman, or a person that would like check her out and womanize her, like a sick man. Secular people know that. People that are wise and not emotional. So I have in this discussion used a lot of philosophy and secular information. That's what I'm saying. I just want to present the facts to you that your basic case. Oh, it's all about controlling people. No, it's actually Christianity not telling you to stop fornicating. Christianity is telling you that God will come in you and change your heart so you actually don't want to fornicate. So you actually want to do what's right and actually could be in the long run and not the present moment. You keep on fornicating, it damages the sex drive, it dishonors you, it dishonors the act of sex. Sex is a very sacred thing. And you guys don't even know what sex is actually for and how it should be conducted. You guys just emotionally just do it. So so you talk about sex and all these things and not knowing the depth of what is actually is for and how it should be carried out. And how your mind, the mind needs to be when carrying it out. There's a law to these things. The Creator has made a law. If you want to break His law, you get everlasting torment. Because you broke His law. You made an eternal crime against an eternal God with eternal virtues and eternal love. When you sin the mind I can show scientifically is outside the brain. People in a vegetable state can think, but they cannot communicate to their body. Near-death experiences happen. Sure, it's diversity experiences, but there's proof the mind is outside the brain. So when you sin against the spiritual and with the eternal. So it is an eternal sin. This is the reason why the judgment must be eternal, and it's not emotional or wrong to say it is. It has to be. God doesn't want to condemn anybody. He just has to do it. He's forced by his own nature to condemn people. Innocent. I pray you guys, this help you guys to really understand a lot of these control arguments and religion is all about control. It's all just an emotional thing. Feeling. Religion tells you hand and not, touch not. Jesus tells you, I'll come and change your heart. He didn't just tell me to just resist my sin to my deathbed. He said, I believe on him, I give a new heart. And guess what? I got that heart. So no, Christianity is not a religion. Every other religion tells you don't do this, don't do that. But Jesus offers an assistance to this. So hopefully this edifying you guys. Of course he left. He cannot contend. These homosexuals cannot contend with the facts. They will contend with how they feel. And go in, listen, I love you, I want you to repent. I'm not just here to just propagate my belief system, because I don't have, I have doctrine. I know the truth. I'm here because I love you guys, and I want you guys to be saved. I'm not here to just get attention. I'm on here, guys, because I love you guys. I know you guys are here to eternal fire. And you can deny it all you want, that's where you're coming from. The Holy Ghost to me is cry over the lost. Just to tell you guys, I really do care. The Holy Ghost in me really does care about you guys. I care about you guys. I'm not on here for a big following. I'm on here to save souls. I'm on here to save souls and to edify people and to help people and to build people up. This is why I'm on here. And not for the following. People are dying and going to hell. Every few seconds someone dies. Every few seconds. 1, 2, 3. So someone's dropping off in the pit. Just keep counting. 1, 2, 3. And you can't stop it. They're dying and they're going hell. They're dropping off by the millions into hell. Every 3 seconds someone dies. It's very serious, guys. And if you don't repent, you will be the next 1, 2, 3. That's not too long when it's a fact. You're going to die. and you will face God. And no matter how you feel, doesn't matter, because you will face God, and you will be judged for all your sin. Repent. I love you guys. This turned into something I didn't want to turn into, but we had a good comment. We had I seen you refuting this stuff. Guys, I love you guys. Be blessed in Jesus' name. And have a blessed night. I love you guys. Be blessed in Jesus' name.